What's up, TBS crew? It's your boy Steph, back with another reaction. This time, we have Creepypasta Jr. There is Something in the Rain, Creepypasta, uploaded August 28th, 2019. Y'all already know, down in the description will be links to Creepypasta Jr.'s channel, this original video, and all of my social medias. Get at your boy and see the personal life that I don't upload to YouTube. Without further ado, let's get into it. I feel like I should be sitting on this side instead of this side, but whatever. I'm still working out the kinks with my new place and all that.
I used to love the rain. When I was very young, I used to get excited whenever I would hear a downpour. I'd quickly throw my shoes on and bolt out of the door. My mother would scream after me, but the drumming of the rain would always drown her out. I'd run up and down the sidewalk, splashing in every puddle I could find. Within moments of being outside, I'd become completely drenched. I'd finally go back inside and receive a scolding from my mom.
Yeah.
She never did stay upset for long, however. She was just worried I'd get hurt or sick, or worse, drag mud into the house.
Pretty much.
During the course of my adolescence, while most people would stay cooped up indoors during a rainstorm, I'd be outside in a flash. This led to me becoming sick rather frequently.
I bet.
And because of this, that was the main reason I stopped carelessly running outside. As I grew older, I'd stopped going out into the rain altogether, and started to just enjoy the presence of it. The pattering of raindrops on the roof would instantly put my mind at ease. I'd lay in bed, watching the droplets race each other down the window. Those rainy days became very therapeutic for me, especially during my teenage years. After high school, I found a job working at a retail store in town. It wasn't the best job, but the pay was great. Most of my coworkers were decent enough, and my boss was a weaselly douche, but I'm sure that's the same for a lot of people. For the past 5 years, I've done nothing but save as much of my money as I could. I wanted to buy a house so I could have my very own place to live. A place where I wouldn't have to worry about bothering or being bothered by anyone. After working with my bank and getting all of my finances in order, I began hunting around for a place. It didn't take me very long to find a house in one of these small suburban areas in town. The house rested in the center of a cul-de-sac and was flanked from behind by a line of trees. The area around was quite nice. It was like something you'd see in a movie or a TV show. But the best thing about this house was the price. It apparently had been foreclosed upon and was being sold at a much lower price than it was originally purchased for. Once everything was settled, I moved in shortly after. Living on your own might seem lonesome to some of you, and at times it is. But I've always been kind of a solitary person. Not having to worry about anyone other than myself was easy.
Factual.
I quickly adjusted to my new living situation, and before long, I had settled into a proper routine. I have been living in this house for close to 2 years without issue. However, my work life had started to become more draining. It seemed like each day would bring about more stress than the last.
It'd be like that.
Between the aggressive customers and my condescending boss, it was like being stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Pause on that.
While I thought about quitting my job, my bills simply wouldn't allow it. Instead, I decided to just take some time off from work. I had some days saved up, and over the years when I just needed a break, I would take a week off. My boss hated when I did this, as it left him short-handed, but he was the driving force behind it.
Oh well.
I submitted my time off a little over a week ago and felt relief as I left work that day. During this most recent summer, our town had been experiencing a pretty lengthy drought. It hadn't rained in our area since April, which was odd, since I lived in an area that used to rain quite frequently. That was one of the main reasons I chose to live in this town after graduating. The day after I got home from work, I turned on the news while I lounged on the sofa. The weatherman excitedly told of an oncoming storm heading for our area. This piqued my attention as I turned the TV up. He said the storm could potentially last for a few days or longer. When I heard this, I was thrilled. The ultimate relaxing vacation, I thought. I could catch up on some reading while a soothing storm raged outside. Just then, I heard a couple taps on my window nearby, like someone was trying to get my attention. I looked over and saw a few drops of water running down it. Within the hour, you should have seen the torrent of water coming down. It was like an ocean had been dropped from overhead. The earth-shattering sounds of thunder ripped through the sky, while the chittering rain on the ground sounded like distant machine gun fire. I was in heaven. After I went to bed that night, I slept better than I had in months. I woke up sluggishly early in the morning. I rubbed my tired eyes and walked over to my bedroom window. Pulling back the curtain, the sky outside was as black as pitch. The rain was still coming down in sheets. I turned to my alarm clock, which read 7 a.m. I just shrugged and crawled back into bed. A few hours later, I had awoken once again, feeling much more rested than before. I got out of bed and hopped into the shower. After getting dressed, I walked over to my window once more and peeled the curtain back. The sky was unchanged, and the rain was still pouring relentlessly. I had never seen rain like this before. Before, the sight and the sound of it would bring me peace, but as I stared out at the horizon, it only made me feel uneasy. I made my way into the living room and turned on the TV. A screen full of static greeted me as I flipped through the channels. I cursed myself for buying satellite TV. Just as I was flipping through the channels, I heard a noise which drew my attention to the left. It sounded like something hard had hit my window, like someone had thrown a ball at it. I got up and walked over to it, looking outside. It was still far too dark to see hardly anything. While I squinted, I thought I could make out faint movement in the shimmering rain, but it had quickly vanished. The weather was far too bad to go anywhere, so I just stayed indoors and began reading one of my books. Regardless of the nature of the situation, I was still partially relaxed by the sound of the rain. I made myself some food and went to bed a few hours later. The days that followed were all similar. I'd get up, check the window, watch the rain, read, eat, and go to sleep.
That's so peaceful.
Then, 2 days ago, I woke up as I normally had, only this time, I noticed that my power was out.
Ooh.
I was surprised it lasted this long, to be frank. When I got up to do my cursory glance out of the window, I saw something that made me pull back away. There was a shape in the rain. I peeked through the side of the window and looked around. Whatever had been there seemingly had moved. I narrowed my eyes nearly shut and scanned the area. Something was moving outside in the rain. I grabbed my phone to call someone, anyone, but that was useless. There was absolutely no signal in this downpour.
Right.
I sighed as I stood with my back to the wall. I was unsure of what to do. It wasn't like I could just leave. I wondered who could be out in a downpour like this. I thought maybe it was just one of my neighbors going outside for some reason, but something inside me told me that wasn't the case.
Common sense.
I peeked out once more, and this time I could see its silhouette moving around my front yard. It was hard to tell the size of it due to the darkness, but I watched how it moved. It would walk slowly from one side of my yard to the other, and remain motionless for a few minutes. I thought the bad weather was playing tricks on my mind. I shut the curtain, lit a candle, and laid down in my darkened living room. Yesterday, I had woken up in a daze on my living room couch. I stood up and noticed my power had come back on. Sadly, the TV and internet were still out, however, but the lights in my house gave me an air of relief. I looked out one of my windows again, and I nearly fell to the floor. It was standing on the other side of the glass. My living room light illuminated this thing's face. Its head was long and narrow. In a horrifying way, it reminded me of a dog. Smooth skin, slick with the rain, covered its body. Its eyes were enormous, like the eyes of a fly.
Oh.
Although large, its eyes were clouded over, like it was blind. It had a long snout-like nose that sniffed at my window, causing a thin layer of fog to build up around it.
What?
It raised a very human-like hand and rested it upon the glass. It was then that I realized just how massive this creature was. Its fingers nearly stretched from the bottom of my window to about halfway up. It opened its mouth slightly, like it was anticipating a delicious meal. A string of razor-like teeth filled its jaws. I quickly dropped the curtain and stumbled backwards. I ran through my house, grabbed my phone, and locked myself in the bathroom. It's been over 20 hours since I first saw it, and I haven't had the courage to go check if it's still there. I've tried to call for help, but I've had no service since the storm started. To pass the time, I've been writing this story on my phone and have been attempting to post it repeatedly, hoping the signal would somehow get through. If there is a storm heading in your direction, lock your doors and your windows. Do not go outside. I'm not sure what it is, or where it came from, or if there are more of them.
Or what it wants.
But I'm pretty sure I don't want to find out. I used to love the rain, but now I fear it. I just hope to God that the raining will stop soon.
It's all bad. So basically, with this torrential downpour, there's a creature that's haunting you or stalking you, but if the rain stops, it'll go away. I'm be honest with you. You said it's been 20 hours since you saw the creature, and you couldn't muster the courage to go look out the window to see if it was still there. At that case, fam, I don't know. I don't know. What would y'all do in that situation? Let me know down in the comment section below. Because it's like, I don't know. It's like you could leave, but then it might get you. Or it will get you. But if you stay in the house, you're going to run out of food and drink. Well, you have the tap water, but, you'll run out of food. And, if you try to order like some pizza or something, when they get there, they're probably going to keep going once they see what you have outside of your house. So, I don't know. What would y'all do in this situation? Because I'm at a loss for words. I really have no solution to his problem. Thank you so much, guys, for watching my video. If you enjoyed the reaction, leave a like, a comment, and share the video. And if you really liked it, subscribe to the channel, join the TBS crew, and tap that bell icon so you will get notified every time your boy Steph drop new content, which I do on a weekly basis. That is all I got for y'all this time around. Your boy Steph is out.